Welcome back to G Fun Facts Online. Today we are going to strip away the modern world. Forget your air conditioner, forget your refrigerator, and forget the electrical grid. We are traveling back 300 years to the sweltering mid-July heat of the Korean peninsula during the Joseon Dynasty. Imagine the humidity clinging to you like a wet shroud, the deafening chorus of cicadas, and the relentless sun. In this environment, the idea of ice seems like a fever dream. Yet, at a royal banquet, the meal concludes with crushed ice, served with fruit, chilled to perfection. This wasn't magic. It wasn't electricity. It was the Seokbinggo, the stone ice vaults. To the casual observer, they look like simple burial mounds or piles of granite scattered across the southern provinces of South Korea. But to a physicist or an architect, they are complex machines that manipulate thermodynamics with a precision that rivals modern technology. Today we are doing a deep dive into the engineering, the science, and the lost history of how ancient Korean engineers tamed the seasons. Let's start with the hard science. To understand the genius of these vaults, we have to change how we think about cold. The ancients understood a fundamental truth. You don't generate cold, you battle heat. Cold is just the absence of thermal energy. The Seokbinggo was a fortress built to fight a war against heat on three specific fronts: conduction, convection, and radiation. The first enemy is the ground itself. In a Korean summer, the surface soil is hot. The engineers countered this using thermal inertia. They built the vaults semi-subterranean. By burying the structure half underground, they tapped into the deep Earth's constant temperature, which hovers around 15 degrees Celsius or 59 degrees Fahrenheit. That is a cool baseline, but 15 degrees will still melt ice. This is where the insulation mound comes in. The granite roof isn't exposed to the air. It is buried under a massive tumulus of earth, often mixed with clay and lime. This acts as a colossal thermal dampener. Because soil is a poor conductor, the heat from the midsummer sun travels through it incredibly slowly. This creates a phenomenon called thermal lag. The heat wave travels so slowly that, by the time the summer heat actually penetrates to the vault ceiling, the weather outside is already turning cool for autumn. They effectively shifted the seasons underground. But insulation is a double-edged sword. It stops heat from entering, but it also traps heat inside. The ice itself, and the humans entering to retrieve it, generate heat. If that warm air is trapped, it creates a feedback loop that destroys the ice. This brings us to the second front of the war: convection. The Seokbinggo features a ventilation system that is a masterclass in fluid dynamics. The ceiling is punctured by ventilation shafts that look like small chimneys. This system relies on two principles working in harmony: the stack effect and Bernoulli's principle. Inside the vault, the cold, dense air sinks to the floor, protecting the ice. Any warm air rises to the curved ceiling. This is the stack effect. Meanwhile, outside the vault, the wind blows over the curved, grassy mound of the roof. As wind moves over the opening of the ventilation shafts, it creates a pocket of low pressure, just like air moving over an airplane wing generates lift. This is Bernoulli's principle. That low pressure outside literally sucks the stagnant warm air out of the vault through the shafts. It is a passive engine that ensures hot air never accumulates at the ceiling to radiate heat back down. Modern computer simulations of the Joseon Seokbinggo have even revealed that the interior shape resembles an airfoil. The arched ceiling isn't just for support. It creates a smooth path for air circulation, preventing warm pockets from stagnating in the corners. Now, let's move from the physics to the civil engineering. The thermodynamics would be useless if the structure collapsed or flooded. The construction required precise material selection. Korea is rich in granite, a stone with high thermal mass. The walls are cut granite blocks, but the ceiling is the true marvel. It utilizes a technique called shear arches. Unlike a continuous tunnel, the ceiling consists of separate arched ribs spaced at intervals. The gaps between these stone ribs were filled with flat stones and earth. This was ingenious for two reasons. First, structural elasticity. If the ground shifted, a continuous vault might crack. Separate arches allow for independent movement. Second, the spaces between the arches created natural pockets, where warm air would get trapped before being vented out, keeping it away from the ice. Then there is the issue of water. Water is the enemy. It conducts heat 25 times faster than air. To fight this, builders used a layer of lime and clay, known as hogyok, between the granite and the earth mound as a waterproof sealant. But perhaps the most critical yet invisible feature is the floor. It is never flat. Every Seokbinggo floor is sloped. This uses gravity to drain meltwater immediately. If water pools around the ice, it increases humidity and accelerates melting. By keeping the floor dry, they drastically slowed the melting rate. While the principles are universal, the surviving vaults each tell a unique story. Let's look at a few examples. First, the king of vaults, the Joseon Seokbinggo. Built in 1738, it is massive, nearly 19 meters long. Its entrance faces north to avoid hot southern winds, and the ventilation shafts have unique stone caps to keep out rain. It is the best preserved example of this technology. Then there is the Korean Seokbinggo. This one was actually relocated from the riverbank to a folk village to save it from a dam project. It features what we call dorsal fin arches, where the granite protrudes significantly to capture warm air. Originally, it was used to store sweet fish for the king. In Changyang, we see a structural anomaly. The arches are perpendicular to the nearby streamflow, and the builders used gravity to the maximum potential by placing the entrance on high ground and the drain on low ground. Finally, there is the Cheongdo Seokbinggo. It is the oldest, dating to 1713. Its ceiling has collapsed, leaving only the granite arches standing like the ribs of a great whale skeleton. While sad, this collapsed state serves as a visual textbook for archaeologists, revealing exactly how the shear arch technique was applied. We also need to talk about the culture surrounding these vaults. This wasn't just about luxury. It was a complex bureaucratic system. The ice storage office, or bingo, controlled the ice. In Seoul, there was the dung bingo for ritual use and royal funerals, and the seo bingo for distribution to officials. Ice was a controlled substance. Officials carried a bingpei, an ice ration card carved with their rank. Forging these cards was a serious crime. But this luxury came at a human cost. The ice harvesting happened during the coldest part of winter, in January. Laborers were conscripted to cut the frozen rivers into blocks. It was brutal, dangerous work, often leading to frostbite. The state acknowledged this debt by providing medicine and alcohol to the workers. Once the ice was inside, they didn't just stack it, they used layers of rice straw between the blocks. Straw is an incredible insulator because its hollow stalks trap air, acting like double-glazed windows and preventing the blocks from fusing together. So why does this matter today? In the 21st century, as we struggle with climate change and the energy costs of air conditioning, the Seokbinggo offers a lesson in passive design. Modern architects are revisiting these concepts. We see earthships using ground mass for thermal stability. We see solar chimneys in green buildings that mimic the stack effect of the Seokbinggo vents. We even use phase change materials in walls to mimic the thermal buffering of the ice. The Seokbinggo is not just a relic, it is a testament to the sophistication of Joseon science. Without electricity, without plastics, and without modern theory, these engineers observed the wind, the water, and the earth, and built structures that defied the seasons. Standing at the entrance of a Seokbinggo today, feeling that blast of cold, damp air, you are feeling the breath of history. It is a reminder that sometimes the most advanced technology isn't a microchip, but a perfectly placed stone in the path of the wind. That wraps up our deep dive into the stone ice vaults. Thanks for listening to G Fun Facts Online.